Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room for Friday, December the 10th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Quick sound check, please. And can you see my screen? A couple of yeses will help me. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. All right, guys. So I've just covered some of that short. This could be really interesting all day. This EVBG CEO abrupt resignation, never a good sign. So I took this short, spready, but I decided because it's down over 40%, I wanted to take some in the pre-market. I wasn't sure if I could get any because of the uptick rule once the market opened. So got in at around 68.85. I've covered some at 67.78. And I'll really have to wait. Now it's up to 69 on the ask. So it was spready, but now it's back down to 68, 58 on the ask. So I'm gonna just to keep an eye on it. But this could be one of those all days once the market opens. CEO abrupt resignations, never a good sign. As well, the company doesn't appear to be doing as well as investors would like. So anyway, down $46. Wow. All right, what else is happening? So crypto was taking a pop. Let's see if it's still hanging in there. Yeah, BITO. At the same time as I guess the inflation numbers came out. So for whatever reason, even though the inflation numbers don't look great, maybe they're not as bad as the market thought. But anyway, 8:30 they came out and crypto popped along with all the usual suspects like Mara and Riot. Those are the two big ones, of course, but I also noticed BitF and HUT. CNTX is up on positive data. Couldn't tell if it's phase 1, 2, or 3, but CNTX up on positive data. EFOI, been an active one. EFOI is also gapping up. Pulled back, let's see, it got up to almost 5. It's all pulled back, almost back down to 4. Very active yesterday, of course, got up to 447. So actually it got above that high briefly this morning. Still through the 200-day moving average. I don't see any specific news on it for today. Mesa is a gap down. Mesa, this airline not doing well. Yeah, it's popping a bit now, though. From 570 up to 613. It's an earnings play. So Mesa is an E gap down. I should have mentioned it. Should have put an E in front of that cap. So this is an E gap down. Released earnings after hours yesterday. You can see the reaction. There's that mauve area right here. That's our after hours. And it's kind of held the gap down. I mean, it's popping a little bit, but let's see, ANGN had gap down. Let's see if the gap is holding. ANGN had gap down on negative, I've just got scratched in my notes here, negative results. So this is an all-time low, ANGN. That is actually shortable for me. So keeping an eye on that EVBG, of course. To see a big collapse. Even more so. I know it's down 40%, but the market's waking up to this. Actually, I guess it must have happened after hours. It must have been after hours because there's the move down unless there was leaked. But here's the real reaction so far. AVCT. Expansion plans, AVCT. Let's see, is it holding its gap? Yeah, it's not bad, holding its gap a little bit. Now this is a big one, AI, yeah, $500 million Department of Defense contract, AI, $500 million DoD contract. That was announced after hours yesterday. So it's actually given up about $7 from the highs after hours. AOUT. Earnings play. Gapping down on earnings. Big gap down on earnings. American Outdoor Brands. So this could be interesting. I mean, there's right at 17 right now. And let's see. Maybe got a little bit of support in this area. So I don't know how much further this can go, but yeah, Lucid having a bit of a bounce day. I guess I secured, was it $1.75 billion in a financing. So that's put a little juice to the stock this morning for Lucid LCID. Now this is very, very low float, or not low float, but a low volume. Let's see if it picks up though, because it's got a big gap down, and that is Fizz, FIZZ. Low volume, very low volume, but it's an earnings play, okay, guys? So it's an earnings play. So I mean, look at this gap down on earnings. Yeah, it might be pretty decent support in the area it's in right now. But if it can break through here, this 45 level. I mean, I understand there's no volume at all. They released earnings after hours yesterday. You guys were watching MP yesterday for a while. This is sort of popping up a bit. Peloton, PTON, weak earning. No real, I mean, I see Credit Suisse downgraded them. I guess they must have had a higher price target because they downgraded them to $50. Is that right? Yeah. So they've downgraded. They must have had a higher price target in mind. So now they've downgraded that higher price target to still 50. It's at 39 right now. Yeah, Moderna's taking a real hit on their flu vaccine. This is not COVID related so much. It's their call it their normal flu vaccine. That's a huge. Look at this gap down, 11%, $31. IPO from yesterday, NU is relatively strong. NU. Actually pretty good, 14%, $1.52, above the highs of, excuse me, above the high yesterday. A lot in the float, as I recall, about 200, or issued anyway, 290 odd million at $9. And let's see what else is there. ASO, another earnings play. ASO, another earnings play. This is an all-time high, I believe. No, not quite. No, not even close. Okay. But it is earnings play, gapped up. Chewy. This is the other one that I was watching. Chewy, CHWY. This is gap down on earnings. Big gap down. Again, released earnings after hours yesterday, and that gap down is still there. It has not run at all. So this is another more expensive one, but let's see, where's it at now? 51.51. Yeah, so we have a month back here. This is over a year ago, a low of around 50 on that month. If it comes out, it'll definitely be coming. Yeah, that was kind of my favorite one, just because it's a bio, not too many shares outstanding or released. I don't know what the correct terminology really is. But was it 2.8 million and low IPO projected price, and it's a bio, so we'll have to see. Once it opens, I'll certainly know about it. Wow, beyond meat. Holy smokes, I didn't realize it was down here. So Beyond Meat is still weakening, BYND. You guys were mentioning Vince. It can't be very expensive. VNC. It's either store every now and then. Yeah, just no volume. No volume at all. I mean, they're released after hours. Too hardly any volume either. All right, just kind of waiting on this EVBG to see if it really wants to give up 68. Tank, good morning. All right, guys, a quick look to see what sort of upgrades and downgrades we have this morning from briefing.com. A moment here, just got to load my email. All right, let's see. Actually, we've got quite a few of each. We have more downgrades than upgrades, so let's get a few of them in. A lot to post, so let me get them in now. TGLS from yesterday got upgraded. It was the one that, of course, got absolutely killed, and then it had a great bounce. Just a few more upgrades to go. Not seeing anything. Okay, AUPH has been upgraded by Oppenheimer. Maybe still with those rumors of a buyout. Now, many more downgrades. Let's take a look at these downgrades. See if there's anything interesting. In other words, maybe multiple downgrades. Same stock being downgraded by the same firms over and over again. Let's just take a look. Okay, I see EVBG. Actually, EVB. Wow, guys. Here's the one. Happened to be in it. EVBG being downgraded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 companies, 7 firms. Barclays, Stifel, JP Morgan, etc. So 7 downgrades for EVBG this morning. So even though just looking for a big collapse, I've taken $1 out, and it's basically back to where I shorted it. Curve downgraded after yesterday. Earnings downgraded by Morgan Stanley. That was one at the end of the day. Oh, here's multiple downgrades for RDUS, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman, RDUS. So there's actually not that many different stocks. There's just a bunch of stocks, same stock being downgraded by a lot of different firms, especially the EVBG. So let's take a look at RDUS. A couple of downgrades from some of the big guys. Why are Why looking at this one? I can't understand why Morgan Stanley and JP and Goldman would even care about an RDUS. If you the quick way, if you just hover underneath the order entry, where you see the symbol, it's going to tell you if it's shortable or not immediately. If you see a green, a green dot, that means it's shortable immediately. If you see a faded green dot, it means they'll have to search for you. If you see a big red dot, it means there are none available. Oh, I don't know until I have no idea where it's going, Gary. I have no idea. I've already taken $1 off, so you look down here. I mean, if I look, let's see, the next low looking left is 66.19. Is that right? Yeah, so 66.19. I mean, that may stall it. I don't know. But that's really bad news. I mean, when a CEO resigns abruptly, no gapper list. Don't know what you mean, John. Goldman and Morgan Stanley, blue collar. What do you mean no gapper list? You mean right here? The up? You were right. You were right. I forgot to put it in. Now, did I save it? Yes, I did. There you go. I am not in the ANGN short, no. All right, well that went down the wrong way. Hopefully I muted myself before my hacking. Well, it may not, William, but I'm... All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. All right, as I keep an eye on this one, let's take a look at the sectors this morning. So the market is actually big pop for the market on those. I guess the inflation numbers. I guess I don't know. Maybe they weren't as bad as people thought, or the market expected. Not people, as the market expected. That's the only thing I can think of, because that is a big pop. Okay, let me click on new and then dock channel bar. So my guess is every single sector except maybe energy. Let's just take a look at energy to see what it is doing. Energy is usually an all or nothing. In other words, they're all either up or they're all either down. And right now, they're basically all up. So what are we looking at here? These are the major sectors. May get a bit of a clue what is going to happen, certainly on the open. course, an hour from now, we look at this and this could really change. But as we speak, every sector is up. That's what these percentages mean. So if I look at technology, XLK, these are the stocks that make up that technology sector. 90% of them are up from yesterday's close. And here we go for the energy, 95%. So there's really not a weak sector. I mean, we call the weakest sector healthcare at 74%, but you know, it's really not that weak, is it? So, and that is indicative of a market that is gapping up right now. All right, let me see if there's anything new popping in. I know Oracle. I guess Oracle, was that an earnings play? Oracle's an earnings play? Yeah, so Oracle. Wow, big pop up for Oracle. Should have mentioned this one. All-time high now, guys. CHWY, Chewy, is on its way down. This is the other one that I'm really interested in, but I don't know if... It's at 50 right now. CHWY. Interested in a potential all-day short. Take a look at the TGLS, guys. So this was just a a great two-way trade yesterday. First, on the big drop, even though it had dropped all the way down to 19, I guess it didn't move that much further down from here. But then I guess really the play, because it would have been hard to take, unless you got in right at the top here. You would have made a little bit here, but this was really the play, the bounce that Zach talked about. And that tremendous bounce. Now it has a bit of an upgrade this morning. Yeah, I'm just surprised that they would look at such a cheap one. That's all. You know, I usually always think of Goldman and Morgan and J.P. Morgan. You know, they don't mess around with these little ones that often. But a couple of downgrades for them. Hasn't really affected it yet. I mean, look, it's only 25,000 shares. Down 8 cents, so it really hasn't affected it yet. It's basically at an all-time low, though. I mean, this is obviously in the pre-market. This is down here, but we don't count the pre-market. So it's basically at an all-time low. Oh, I'm not disputing it, Blue Collar. I'm just wondering why they even care about an Ardus, such a cheap stock, and usually they're after the bigger fish. All right, let's see if anything else is kind of sneaking in here in my list. Well, okay, guys. I mean, ISIG is still active as usual. You're on your own in that one. Big contract, definitely a big contract. I wonder how many years. I didn't look at it. I just saw the headline, the $500 million DoD contract. I wonder how many years, over how many years it's spread. That's the other thing, you know. I mean, if I'm going to write a contract, if I'm going to write a press release, all I'm going to do is put 500 million, and then I'm going to bury over 20 years. I mean, I don't know how long it is, but I'm going to bury that somewhere. But I'm going to put $500 million contract award. I'm going to put that right as the headline. Barron's writes this is not a contract. All right. Okay, here we go. Don't get carried away just yet. All right. All right. Based on our conversation with management last night, this announcement is not, in fact, a $500 million order, rather an authorization or contracting vehicle. Okay, I understand. Yeah, okay, so it's a positive endorsement, but no visibility into the amount of the revenue that ultimately come from the agreement. Okay, puts it a little more. Okay. Let's see that. What are you talking about, Grumpy? You trying to an early morning dig? I'm just saying that if I'm working for a company, that is what I would put in the press release, and I would bury everything else. Of course, it's just promotion. I'm not promoting it. MTTR, another super active one. Yeah, not too interested in this unless it really explodes out of this area, this 28 area, and starts to move back here. Well, so much for that upgrade with TGLS. Thank you, William. 1 minute to the open. TGLS, TGLS. Chewy continues down. Chewy is right at 50, guys. Right at 50, the magic 50. All right, everybody, we've got about 10 seconds before the open. Let's have a great end to this trading week. All right, now we're open. Continuing to watch the EVBG. Fruit on the Vine, VYNE, VYNE. I saw it this morning. It's a nice gap up. I don't know if there's any specific news for it. Hood making a low here. Robin Hood, of course. Grab making a low. Look at Grab. All-time low now for Grab. GRAB. All-time low for Grab. Early, guys. It's early. Okay, guys. Well, you got to get that spread tightened up just a little bit for the EVBG. Here we go. Here we go. But just got to get that spread tightened up just a little bit. There's a nice spread, 1 cent. All right, guys. I don't know. Anybody take this with me? The short EVBG. No, it's just going to get halted now. It's going to get halted now. All right, I've covered some more, guys. Just got halted. Just got halted. Covered some more on 63.72. From 63.85. This is the new me trading higher price stocks. Here's $5. $5. And so it's halted. Thank you, William. Anybody try to short this when the market opened? I'm just curious to see how easy it was to get a short on the EVBG, with it already down over 10%. It was easy. Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's not how many shorts are available. It's just that uptick rule. Sometimes it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes you're right. I've been filled immediately, even though stock is down over 10%. Yeah. Okay, SWBI, what are you doing? SWBI, so after a bad week last week on earnings, let me just see something here. So what happened yesterday? Oh, so this has been a big recovery. So now this is taking out this high of I guess last week. Okay, SWBI. So the projected open, yeah, there's no clue yet. No clue yet. I mean, it's halted at 63.72. So we're at 63.7. I mean, so there's really no clue yet. I mean, what we'd love to see for sure is something like 60, you know, but there's no clue yet. So guys, I mean, as I've mentioned several times, I mean, the upgrades and downgrades can be important if you see multiple upgrades or downgrades, same stock being upgraded or downgraded by different firms. In this case, I think there were 7 downgrades for EVBG. And of course, with the news that the CEO abruptly resigned, it may not be as powerful as the CFO, but according to William, but that was good enough. Oh, absolutely. An abrupt, I mean, you know, I mean, usually CEOs, when they leave, it's an orderly transition. There's a successor plan and all that sort of stuff. But when there's an abrupt resignation, it's not good. And if you say usually this bad, I mean, I can't, you know, historically, I don't know, but it's usually not good at all. Here's this one from yesterday, guys. RCRT got pumped up to 485 yesterday, so it's trying to get back to that level. Low float, 9.8 million in the float. Whoa, look at this downward pressure on AMC. I guess, was it the CEO or is it one of the C-suiters selling a lot of shares? Was it dumping his entire position? Was that, did I read that right? Excuse me. For those of you following DWAC, it's a nice pop over 60 on 500,000 shares. All right, 932.58, so 937. So if this is going to open in 5 minutes, this will be opening in about a little more than 20 seconds. 20 seconds from now, EVBG, so I want to get it up and running. And we still have no clue on where it's going to open, really. It's not going to open there. I'm going to be quick on my cover button. All right, we're now open and a continuation down for a while. Oh boy. Thank you, blue collar. Okay. All right, guys. I'm out most of my position right around 62 now. Okay. For the EVBG. And if it cracks even further, that's fine. But all right, guys. Well, I guess my day is done. All right, what to look at now? See, CWK on the move for some reason. CWK all-time high. CWK all-time high. LASL popping up a little bit here. It's an earnings play actually, December 9th post-market. So release earnings after hours, mixed, really no clue on where it was going to go. There's a 200-day moving average up here, 24. That's far enough away. Well, so much for that upgrade. I can't remember what firm upgraded TGLS, but this is taking a real hit here. And yeah, BFRI, why do I have you alerted? BFRI. Let's see, that's yesterday's high. I really don't know. Yeah, look at the ISIG. Huh. So I said you're on your own in this one. I mean, this is just so darn whippy. It got up to 27, back down to 22. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it got up to 20, almost 28, and then right back down to 21.50. Too whippy for me. Boy, this is a massive level for AMC to try to hold. If it's going to that 25 level. All right, let's take a look at Chewy. So it must have popped up to 51. This is an earnings play. You know what? I'm going to get rid of all those little buy signals and everything. It's covering up. Okay, now the low here, 55, 51.25. So there's a low here in that month in over a year ago. So yeah, at 50 level's the big level. That's the big level. If you can take out 50 somehow, then the next low looking left is around 44.75. So that is for the Chewy. Docu, okay, I wasn't watching Docu this morning. And it's still weak. All right, guys, Mesa, MESA, earnings play, showing up on the 10-day daily breakdown. It's not an all-time low. And there's a case in which I'm trying to short it at 577 and they won't fill it because of the uptick rule immediately. Lots of shorts available, 2.3 million, so that's not the issue. I just get a little squeamish. If I held that in there for about 30 seconds at 577, no fill. Now, I may regret it. May regret it in that I've taken that position out. All right, let's take a look at the market. The early market right now. So the Dow's up, NASA's up, and SPY's up. So there is no disconnect as we speak. So it was the CFO that sold all his shares in AMC. And the CEO blue collar is posting 9.6 million. Goldman Sachs sold, but you're saying the CEO sold all shares. That's what I thought I read somewhere. Somebody sold, one of the C-suiters sold all their shares. All right, I have an alert set for ESSC for some reason. Let me see why I didn't do it today. Okay, so this was taking out the high yesterday. I did not put that alert in yesterday though. 1420 is the high up here. Looks like that's the all-time high. So let's just stick an alert up there and see if it takes it out. It's a low float situation. I got a fill on the Mesa. I got a fill on the Mesa. 575. I left it in. They gave me I don't know how dynamic it's going to be. I should check the float also. Dumb of me not to check the float first. Okay, I gotta pay attention to this if you're in this short of Mesa. You know, it's a low float, 31 million. Anyway, 575. I wanted it here at 584, but I could not get it. All right, let me put some price alerts down here. So the pre-market low was down here around 560. So let me just stick an alert around 569, see if it, or 571, see if it starts to get into that 560 level. And the next lows, yeah, we don't have to worry about those. So I mean, the next low on the monthly chart, way down here at 314. I'm not saying it's going to get there, of course, but how about the weekly chart? Yeah, I mean, this is, we're going back. All right, here we go. Then I want to stick an alert down at the low of the pre-market now, 561, see if it takes that out at some point. Now, I don't normally take trades early, but I'm making a bit of an exception if I do see it in the 10-day daily breakdown. Whoa, look at Lucid now, guys. I mean, that is a nice drop there. I shouldn't say nice. If anybody went long that, I got up to 39.11, and there's a big red candle now, 37. I mean, that SEC stuff has not gone away just because they've raised the money, but meanwhile, the market is drifting down. Still, everything is positive. Come on, Mesa. Where are they out of? Arizona. All right, guys, I think we got a winner here. Nice winner on a percentage move. And we have a halt. We have a halt, one of those active ones from yesterday, double N, halted on the way up. It has just gone positive. The high yesterday was 632, so it's about $1 away from that high. Let's see, where's it going to open? Right now, bit of a clue, 531, 531. It's halted at 523. This is from Interactive Brokers, nothing to do with trade ideas, okay? So you're playing the bounce now for EVBG, right? Go ahead. Over the VWAP, let's see, 65.51. It was, well, was it? I have the VWAP here at 65.51. So it looked like it got to at 65.40 almost. Now it's at the VWAP, 65.50, 65.70 now. So this could be a little bit like the TGLS yesterday, the big gap down, take advantage of $5-6 move, even after it was already down, you know, $50 or I guess $45, and then a bit of a bounce, maybe. Yeah, so I can't call it a pick. I certainly pointed it out. Beyond Meat pointed that out to you, but some big swings in the first 15 minutes. Look at DWAC. Waiting for the next one to show up on the daily breakdown. Not much action, guys. I mean, look at this. Look at my gap ups, gap downs. Hardly any action yet, which is really strange. I mean, usually in the first 15 minutes, you know, you get a lot. Both of these are usually full. So this might be kind of indicative of the type of day. Is that what it is? Taco Bell kicked out Beyond Meat? All right, here's CXM. CXM, Sprinkler Incorporated. All right, what do you do? Cloud-based, okay. Wouldn't have any idea based on that name, but all right. So the next high looking left on that monthly chart is around 1930. It's an earnings play. Actually, it's an earnings play. CXM is an earnings play. CXM is an earnings play. Didn't see it in the pre-market really. Must have not had enough volume or something. So this has about $1 until the next highs. It's a low float too. Wow, 5.4 million in the float. It's a big, nice gap up, but you know, you're about $1 away from the next highs looking left on the daily chart. INDI is on the way down. INDI, not an earnings play. I don't know what happened here. Harvey, what stock are you talking about? Or are you talking to somebody else? Oh, CXM. Yeah, well, I'm not in it. Obviously, it's too much of a chase right now for me, but this actually looks more like a short now with these topping tails. The low of the day, where's that first 15-minute candle? So the low of the day is 1488. So it's a pretty wide spread. You took it right now, it's a little less than what about 80 cents. So that means so to analyze that, if you took this right now with but an 80-cent stop, you have to have a reasonable expectation of making $1.60. Okay, 2 to 1, at least. Okay, a lot of people want 3 to 1, but I'll say 2 to 1. Okay. That means you have to have a reasonable expectation that this could get over 17. So, right there, that's where, in my opinion, that's where you're going to it could struggle to get through. Right at that 17 level. Go Mesa! So do you see what I'm saying? So to me, the risk reward isn't good enough if you're going to put a, excuse me, if you're going to put a stop at the low of the day. For me. Put this in off topic, Dak. When did you move to Chilliwack? I know you were in Ontario for a long time. So when did you move to Chilliwack? I'll put that in off topic though, okay? Guys, Mesa's turned out to a real nice little beauty here. Nicely down. Just be careful. The float is, it's not a big float. Are you still looking at those humps from years ago when you're looking at a monthly or a yearly chart? Look at Bitcoin, man, oh man, so Bitcoin's sliding down with the market. Well, everything on my thumbnail charts, not everything necessarily, but look at this. Look at DWAC. I mean, this got up to 61, $7 drop. TGLS, Insignia, Lucid. These are all my little thumbnail. I don't know why I have an EDU here, but all my thumbnail charts. Doc, who's that guy we used to talk to? You used to talk to him. I talked to him a few times, many years ago. He was struggling to trade. Can't remember his name. He had a dog. ENSC, yeah. Steve, that's right, Steve. Poor old Steve. Do you have shorts available for NU? Let's see if they're available at, yeah, they're actually available now at Interactive Brokers. Second day of the IPO. All right, haven't even looked at the AI. So the AI has got a few. One of them being the LASL. Really? The Citron and the Muddy Waters. Here's a stock almost at an not almost. This is a stock at an all-time low, guys. Figs. Whoa, look at this. Figs. F-I-G-S. Figs. Apparel accessories. All-time low now. All right, guys, I've covered some of the Mesa. I was hoping we'd get more into the low 50s. Didn't quite do it. So the minute it got over 60, I covered some. Not a bad percentage gain. I'm going to hold some just in case it really keeps collapsing. Yeah, ABCT, I've got it on my watch list. 238 was the trigger. Not bad. 238. And up to 279 now. Got to show you this. Well, another halt here, guys. ABVC just got halted. I wish this one traded more in the United States, Stantec. ABVC just got halted. ABVC just got halted. Low float. So they did have some news looks like right at midnight. Or that might, no, I'm sorry, that would have been 12. What's the date today? The 10th, okay. Yeah, so that would have been at noon yesterday, introducing dietary supplements. So it's an exclusive distribution deal. Okay, so that was yesterday. No big reaction, really. Here's maybe a delayed reaction to it. ABVC. This is going to be an interesting open. SYTA, another one of the hot ones. Is it moving up or down? No, it just resumed. Sorry, so it got halted here. Big pop up after the halt. Okay, he's on the ABVC. Okay, thanks for that, Zach. There's the CXM, guys. CXM. So those topping tails have been taken out now. CXM. I'm not in this one. certainly 17. I mean, there is resistance at 17. You know, right there. I mean, the high right there is 1695. The next high is 1727. So, you know, at 17, you can somehow get through that. Then, you know, 1778 or so. All right. Ah, son of a gun. I missed the figs. Did I miss the figs? All right, guys. So this is an all-time low underneath that whole number. Coming in here. Now, what did the Rita do? This was from yesterday, of course. Big down day yesterday. 2770. Now, that uptick rule is still in effect, even though the stock's only down 3%. It's still in effect. From yesterday's big drop. All right, guys. Well, there's the Mesa now. This is what I did take some out, but this is what I was hoping for. Maybe a big 550 break. Remember, when you look left on the monthly chart, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to get down to 3, but there is your, and that's the same on the weekly chart. So there is room for this one to keep running down on earnings. Let's get this last bit of coffee poured in. Boom! Figs, guys. Wow. Look at this one now. 10-day daily breakdown on fire again. I don't know about the Rita, but the 2770. Well, that popped actually. So what I'd be doing is just sticking an alert down here where we got the alert. So if you're wondering, first of all, I saw the figs earlier. You know, this is just in my lifetime lows. You know, I saw the figs earlier than when it showed up here. I did not take it here when I first saw it, but I certainly knew about it. And then when it showed up on my lifetime lows, that was the convincing factor. Look at this, guys. Look at figs. Big move down here for figs. If you took it, don't be afraid to manage the trade. Well, this is just this is turning into my favorite scan. No, wow, the unusually strong options. I completely missed that. I didn't even realize the AVCT showed up here. Same price as in my watch list, 238. 277, but it showed up in my unusually strong options also, 238. The whole goal, guys, especially if you're new to trading, is just to get you to concentrate on very few stocks. You know, we throw out a lot of ideas all day long with all, you know, these other scans, but my watch list has a, you know, little. Well, of course, anything is really finite, but I mean, it has a few, just not that many stocks. My options plays, not that many stocks. And the 10 daily breakdowns, if you're looking to short things, not that many stocks to concentrate on. Okay, well, I was just going to say I was looking to cover some of the figs, but it might still be weakening here. Let's see if it gets into the 20s. Is it solid? It was weak at the beginning. Well, it popped in the pre-market, but then it faded. Oh, I see. Okay, so now what you're saying here is nice little pop up here. Okay. All right, well, I'm glad I waited just a little bit on the figs. I was going to cover some in the high 30s, but we're now in the mid 20s figs. Oh, if you came into the other room, Ija, everybody's talking about it there also. All right, I did now cover some of the figs. It a little jump there. So mid 30s from 2688 to the mid 30s. Okay, now CXM just showed up on my option scanner. Now, to me, it's got a lot of resistance right around 17. ABVC just resumed. ABVC just resumed. Okay, what sort of, we have 14 million in the float. And it's jumping. And here's another one. Wow, lots of halts again. AHPI, guys. AHPI. Another halt here. Now, this one's 608, 608, so no clue yet where it's going to open. Next high looking left, 626. You can see if it takes out 626, if this opens above that, then it's got a shot to the 7 level. So I mean, 2 trades at the same time for me. So figs and the Mesa. BZ, let's see what he's looking at. BZ short. You mean the time 1010, I'm assuming, not the price. Ooh, maybe another little collapse here for figs. Okay, guys, I'm out of my Mesa position. I want to try to manage the figs trade a little more closely, so I'm out of my Mesa position now. Excuse me. I start to put some price alerts on the figs. Try to induce it downwards. right, guys, let me, oh, I'm not connected on my simulator. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit here. Yeah, Chewy doesn't look like it wants to take out that 50. It looks like it's a bounce play now for Chewy, CHWY. Mentioned grab a lot earlier. This is an all-time low. Grab is an all-time low. Nothing really shaking from the AI yet. LI is not bad, I guess. China EV play. What's the high over here? 32.75. Hey, you know, if I can get through that 32.75, next high is 33.20. All right, HPI just resumed. So it had an initial little pop, the drop. So it got halt. Okay, guys, so this is interesting. It got halted at 604. It's just below that now. If it takes out 604, that's the kind of action that might get me into the trade. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, though, but I'll stick an alert around 607. What? You didn't take the fig short, Zach? What's wrong with you? Yeah, I mean, LCID is, boy, it's a whippy trade. All right, guys, if this takes out 26, look out below again. You know what? I love this today on the 10-day daily breakdown. What I really love about it, we're getting great looks, even though the market's up. And it's the only one making my lifetime low top list. Well, let's just put that at 26. Let's see if that takes out 26. What do they, I'm going to take a little more look what they do. Direct-to-consumer healthcare apparel, etc. Offers lab coats, scrub, outerwear, etc., etc. Well, aha! Here's another one, guys. I did not realize this. What do EVBG, my voice just cracked, EVBG and figs have in common? No answers? No idea? Check this out. Check this out, guys. Now, this is not necessarily an abrupt retirement, but announces the retirement of the CFO. There's Williams' CFO. Okay. I'm not saying this is an abrupt retirement, but maybe the guy was beloved. I don't know. So it's the same thing with the EVBG. Same idea, anyway. Yeah, so I'm not trying to say that was an abrupt retirement. Maybe it was planned, but maybe the market thought this guy was the only thing keeping the ship steady. I have no idea. All I know is that is the reaction. Just the market doesn't like uncertainty, and so individual stocks are kind of the same way. All right, guys, not much action now for me. I mean, just hardly anything that gap up or downs. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of sit back and relax a bit. There's nothing, I'm not desperate to get into anything right now. Just still have my fig short to see if it keeps moving down a little bit further. I mean, that 26 may block it, okay? That whole number may block it. So, good time for me to get into the old TI spiel. Okay, I'm just going to put my homepage link in to the room. All right, first of all, if you're new to the room, welcome to the room. This is the format, Monday to Friday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I do open the room at least at 8, maybe sometime sooner, not today, but at 8 a.m. I'm not live on the mic until 9, but I'm sharing my screen. All right, so that is the format, Monday to Friday. Here we go, guys. Here we go. We now have broken 26. All right, so on my homepage, a lot of information. So here's my tab here in the main trading room. This is where you can find my tab, homepage tab. And there's the link right there. So if you click on it, there is the link. I'm going to load it. And this is what you're going to see. If you want to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas right now, you can use this promo code Barry4Alpha, 15% off the first month only or the entire year. Just keeping an eye on the fig, see if it takes out 26 again. We have 4 plans. We have an annual monthly premium standard. Premium is $22.68 a year minus 15%. Standard is $10.68 a year minus the 15%. The premium, big difference is the AI. Nothing really shaking today. Yeah, the BZ short, I guess, is not bad. But anyway, I'll go over that in a bit. You don't have to take out an annual plan. You can go monthly. That's fine. 118, 228. That 15% discount can be applied to the first month only. If you maintain a monthly plan, this is what you'll pay going forward. However, if at any time you want to upgrade to an annual plan, we will honor that 15% promo code. 3 free sections: Trade of the Week, Stock of the Day, and Education. Trade of the Week is sent to you before the market opens every Monday morning. I do a Stock of the Day video at noon Eastern, and all the education is here. We have a big user guide now, very comprehensive user guide. Here you have it broken down into sections or a full table of contents that is searchable. But if you're new to Trade Ideas, what I would do is I would take a look at the 20 introductory lessons. You take those lessons, they're very short, but it goes over all the basic features. What is a top list, build a top list, alert windows, all the way down to Brokerage Plus and the AI, which we nickname Holly. Daily support sessions, I do take a break at around noon. One of the other traders takes over in our YouTube room between 12 and 1. Today being Friday, it should be Andy. I'll confirm that before I take my break. And before I do take my break, I will put the YouTube link in. Also, Chris is there between 3:30 and 4:30 Monday to Friday. I do shut the room down at 3. If you guys haven't had enough of trading and talking about trading, you can head to the YouTube room at 3:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday. Daily webinars, you can sign up for them all right here. We're on a rotation. One week it's Monday, Wednesday. Next week it is Tuesday, Thursday. You can sign up for them all here. And if you're new to trading or looking for a bit of a refresher, this is a great little series. Michael Noss at Trade Ideas put it together. Starts off with, what is a stock? Okay guys, I've covered most of my FIG now. Just on the watching of all this. Too bad it took out that 26 in a big way, and not a big way, and it bounced over it. So I covered most of it. Only have a little bit left just in case it capitulates down further, but it doesn't look like it now. Scans. Here are all my scans that I'm sharing. All right, click here. This is the one moving higher with unusually strong options. I love this one, and of course my 10-day daily breakdowns. Not in love with the breakouts, and I've got both versions, the don't repeat and the breakdown, okay? Just a quick word about the don't repeat. What this means is, for instance, FIGs. The first time this alert happened was at 9:57 at 26.91, okay? And so, now look at Mesa. I'm out of the Mesa now, but the first time the alert happened was 5:85 at 9:38. This one will tell you every time it makes a new low. Okay, in this, so you can kind of go back in time and say, okay, 5:85, there was the alert. What is it doing now? 5:56, got down to 5:49. The FIGs, 26.91. They got down to underneath 26. So you can go back in time and kind of check to see how good were those alerts. Remember, these are just alerts. These are ideas. These are not, take the trade immediately. So anyway, all my scans are here that I'm sharing, including, what's going on here? Oops, just a minute here. Here we go. These are the 4 I use in the pre-market. We get a lot of questions. We get emails coming in a lot. How come I didn't see this stock in the pre-market? And I would say almost 100% of the time, unless there's something very weird, those stocks that people who write in saying, well, how come I can't see them, are always going to be in my gap up and down shared or my pre-market actives up and down. Okay, these are the 4 scans that I use in the pre-market. I have been using those for years. You can use our pre-market channel, okay, but there might be some filters in there that are just preventing it. I can't tell you that. But this is what I've been using for these 4 scans. And then I also added my lifetime lows. Here we got a few more coming in here. There's the FIGs before. I'll take a look at these 2 when I've done my spiel here. So a lot of information on my homepage. Especially here, okay, the education and my scans. If you save my link, then you can look at this anytime you want. You don't just have to do it while you're in the trading room. All right, guys, so I'm totally out of my figs position. I might look at it later on if it takes out 26 again, but I think maybe that dollar move was probably, that could be it. We may even be in for a bounce now. I mean, obviously it is bouncing a little bit, but, and that's the interesting thing about these too. You know, you can play these sometimes both ways. You know, it's like a watch list. It will not like, it is a watch list. Yeah, too bad I'm out of my Mesa short. That's still pretty strong. All right, guys, so what is Trade Ideas? Trade Ideas is a scanner. We scan the U.S. stock market. Doesn't matter who your broker is, you can use Trade Ideas. Doesn't matter where you live in the world, you can use Trade Ideas. Now, if you want to build your own scans, of course you can. Here's an example of a scan I've got here. You build your own scans, you always start off with some filters, you know. Otherwise, well, okay, this is what the scan is looking for. Prices between 2 and 35. Current volume is at least 8, meaning it's trading at least 8 times normal, etc. So the whole concept is you start off with filters. And then in this particular scan, if these filter requirements are satisfied and a stock makes a new high for the day, we get a real-time alert. That's why we see these stocks. Okay? So if you want to build your own scans, you always start off with some filters, and then you have some kind of a trigger. Now the good news, you don't have to learn a programming language to use Trade Ideas. Here are all the alerts that we have. And when I scroll down to here, these icons, these are all the filters we have. You don't have to learn them all, okay? Why we have a lot? We have thousands of customers, all sorts of different trading styles. We feel we have enough alerts and filters that for the majority of our customers, they can combine them to give them the type of scan they're looking for, okay? But of course, you don't have to learn them all. So don't get hung up on, oh my gosh, this is too complicated for me. Look at all this, look at all the alerts and filters. So that's if you want to build your own scans. So as I said before, I'm sharing a lot of scans, and also if you click on New from our toolbar and click on Dock Channel Bar, we have a lot of themed channels here, themed channels. If I look at the momentum channel as an example, you know, here's one that's showing up, Court showing up. This was one hammered a couple of days ago, trying to recover obviously a little bit. Actually, I like this background color. Might have to change. But if you like this scan, all you have to do is save it to the cloud. The whole idea is that you can go to the different channels. You see a scan you might like, and all you have to do is right-click Configure and check to see what the filters are, what it's looking for, okay? And if you like the concept, you can save it to the cloud. You can go to another channel, stock surging channel. The action is heating up. You right click, you like the concept, save it to the cloud. You want to take a look at earnings today? You know, here are our earnings plays today. So all these channels are theme based. And why I would recommend that you use, you know, if you don't see docked channel bar here in the version of Trade Ideas that you have, I would upgrade, because the whole idea now is that you can have your layout up and running, but now you can take a look at the different channels and your layout will not disappear. In the past, you could only have one, because everything in a channel bar is a layout. In the past, you could not do that. You would load a channel from our channel bar, or a layout from our channel bar, and your layout would disappear. So now you can kind of surf through the different channels during the day if you want, and you don't have to worry about your layout. You don't have to save your layout and then bring it back, etc. All right, little comment on our AI. So look at this. BZ got stopped out first, but now turned around. You can use the re-entry, 43.22. and now it's at 39.47. So, you know, if you don't have the reentry, if you're using the AI, definitely have the reentry columns up, okay? The time, entry, you want to put the stop, that's fine. I'm sorry, the reentry is 41.85. That is the new stop, okay? Now to see this, just click on New from our toolbar and click on AI/Holly Strategy Trades window. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? This is the window that you'll see. You know, I've attached it in the docked window to these two, but don't worry about that. This is the window that you'll see. Just wait for the alerts to happen. How you trade them will be up to you. You can use it like a watch list. You know, sometimes, you know, you'll have different opportunities during the day. What I would do is I would incorporate this window as part of your layout so that you don't have to load it every day. Nothing happens until at least 9:35. You see there was the first alert, 9:35. And so on Monday, if you have this incorporated, if you open trade ideas before 9:30, this will be blank. You just wait for the alerts to happen. Okay, now I'm just going to briefly go over Brokers Plus, okay? I don't want to go into any much more detail about money management. I'm going to sort of do that every other day. But this is the Brokers Plus link. What do you mean by how to execute? Or exclude, I see, from a top list. I'm sorry. Yeah, the little trick. If you search for EPS, earnings per share, okay, and there it is. So just do a search for EPS, earnings per share, and then just add that filter and put like 0.001 minimum and minus 0.001 in the max. Okay, because stocks, you know, all stocks have earnings, either positive or negative, whereas ETFs don't. Okay. Now there will be the odd time that it will also block a stock. We find sometimes the Israeli stocks, for some reason, get blocked when you do that, but that is sort of they'll probably cover 99%. Okay. Do you understand what I did there? So just do a search for EPS. So for instance, I think I do it here. I don't do it here. I think I took it out. I do it on some of mine now, still. There we go. So for instance, in my momentum, so I just put right here, EPS, 001 minus 001. Yeah, minus 00. That's just because in case the stock has negative earnings or, you know, negative EPS. So an ETF will not. So that'll block all ETFs. So the Brokers Plus link that I put in there has two videos. Morning Reel. Hope you took that, the EVBG short. Right, you got great ones here. The Fix short and the Mesa short from the daily breakdown, and then the EVBG short in the pre-market. Look at Mesa. I wish I'm not in it anymore. So where was I? Okay, so the two videos, this is the Brokers Plus window, only available if you're using our downloadable application, okay? If you're using our web-based version, this is not available. Brokers Plus is not available. So the link to the two videos that I popped in, the Brokers Plus, there are two videos. Well, the short video shows if you have an interactive brokers account or an E-Trade account, how you can actually use this window to trade from within Trade Ideas, okay? You have to have an interactive brokers or E-Trade account. No other broker. Now, please listen carefully. If you don't have an IB or E-Trade account, it doesn't mean you can't use trade ideas. It just means you cannot use this window. It's an option, it's a feature, not mandatory to use, even if you have IB or E-Trade. We're a scanner first and foremost. Doesn't matter who your broker is. You can use this, we're a scanner. The second video, a lot longer, goes into more detail about how you can use this window. And also, I really encourage you, you'll notice it says Brokerage Plus. Two options underneath, one is live and one is simulation. Use our simulator. If you're new to trading, please practice trading before you commit money to the market. It uses our real-time data, so it doesn't matter who your broker is. In fact, you don't even need a broker. If you want to start off just figuring out how to trade, getting the mechanics down, you can use our standard service. And and before you figure out what broker you want to use, you can practice trading. Very simple to use. You can do that probably, yeah, Sam, I suppose. But why not just do what I did? That's what I do. Well, guys, I'm not in it anymore, but that EVBG is weakening again. Sure, you saw the news on EVBG reel, with the CEO abruptly leaving, and then I also checked the downgrades. In the downgrades, there were 7 downgrades for it this morning. I've never tried with cash or revenue, Sam. I mean, it may work. It sounds like it could work, but I've just always just used the EPS. But why complicate? There may be a way, Sam, but why complicate it? I mean, if you're just trying to get rid of ETFs, there may be a way to use the selection as a null value. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But I mean, if you're bound and determined, you can send something to info@trade-ideas.com. But why? I'm not trying to dismiss it, but why complicate it? Just if the EPS hack works, so. Okay. Fair enough, Mr. Real. So you guys are talking about AVCT. Let's just take the trade, okay? We'll show you how it works in the simulator. 500 shares, going to buy it right at the market. Should come in at around 303 or 302. There we go. Put a stop in, 282. Okay, that's how, so, I mean, it's as easy as that, guys. Okay? Now, if you want to practice swing trading, if you don't exit this trade at the end of the day, as an example, it'll carry forward. And I don't know how many days you can actually keep it in. I'm not 100% sure, but bottom line though is, it should be a sufficient number of days that if you want to practice swing trading using this Brokerage Plus in our simulator, and of course if you're connected to E-Trade or IB, you can do it also. Well, if my 3 shorts still for EVBG and the Mesa and the Figs, they'd be still working awesomely. I am out of everything now though. How did I create my layout with many windows? All right, well, Have you taken, Sam, I'm assuming you're a subscriber. Have you taken a look at the 20 lessons? Things like that are covered, creating layouts. Have you looked at the 20 lessons? I mean, it's just a matter of creating an alert window. I mean, you can create your own, you can download mine, and once it's on, you can have, shoot, why did I have to take that little pop up? Got me out of the trade. Well, you probably should take that 20 lessons then, because I mean, you just create if you want, you can create your own scans. They'll appear right on the screen, and then at the end, you just save your layout. Wow, look at EVBG, sugar, 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 sugar. I mean, do you know how to create an alert window, Sam? I'm talking to somebody in our YouTube room. Or a top list window? Or do you know how to load, for instance, scans from my scans that I'm sharing, or saving scans from our channel bar? Okay, well, if you know how to do all that, then they're going to appear on your screen. Then all you do is File, Save or Share to Cloud. You probably click on Entire, give it a name, call it Sam's Layout, and save it. So now your layout is saved. Okay, and now when you leave Trade Ideas, you just File, Exit, it's going to ask you, do you want to save your layout? More than likely you say yes. And then when you come back to Trade Ideas, reload, your layout will appear as an example. Ugh, figs, you miserable. Why did you knock me out? Now, these two are awesome, guys. I mean, the Mesa from 585 now to 542. I mean, that's a great percentage move. Of course, the figs from 26.91 down to 20. That's almost $1 now. I don't think the Rita, but I think I have an alert set for 27.70. I may not. I mean, they don't all, of course, fall just because we get the alert here. But I think I have my alert set here, 27.70. Later on in the day, if it takes that out, I'll probably get into the trade. Well, because when I looked at it, I didn't take these trades immediately either, okay? I mean, when I looked at it, Rita, it was starting to move higher. Okay, so I was going to wait anyway. Remember, these are ideas. These are not strategies. They're big difference, guys. For instance, people ask me, well, if you back tested this, what would it look like, as a strategy? Probably awful. I have no idea. I don't even care. I want the ideas, and then I click on the alert, check to see what sort of, what the pattern is coming from, check to see how much room they have. When I look, in this particular case, I'm looking, I'm always looking left, but I'm looking for the next low to see how much room it has, where it could get stalled. If I see a big gap underneath, then I've been able to check, basically, put a check mark behind for all the reasons why I would normally take a trade. And that's just something I'll just briefly talk about. When you get an alert, you should be looking for reasons not to take the trade. Now, it sounds crazy, but look for reasons not to take the trade. You should have some kind of a checklist that everything has to be checked before you take the trade. Be discerning. Now, most of the time, my scans are already giving me most of the check marks that I need. In other words, I know it's going to have a minimum volume that I need. I know it's going to have a minimum relative volume that I need. I know it's going to be in the price range that I'm looking at, so I don't have to worry about all those things. Why is it not easy to have a layout with over 12 tables and charts, Sam? I mean, you can't, it depends, your charts, you can only have 10 charts if you're a standard subscriber, 20 if you're a premium, number one. But why is it not easy? I mean, it may be easy, not easy to follow, but in terms of the mechanics, I mean, you can have, I mean, there's really there's no limit to how many alert windows and top list windows that you can have. I mean, you don't want to have so many that you get overwhelmed, you get nothing done. So I'm not sure I understand your question when you say it's not easy to have a layout. If what you mean is it's not easy to follow everything, well then, you know, get rid of some. Well, that I can't help you with, Sam. I mean, it's obviously then, I mean, I'm on a 32, my monitor's a 32 inch or 34, 32 or 34, 4K monitor. I mean, you know, if you're trying to do this on a little laptop, I have no, you know, then you're going to have to just get rid of some of your windows. You know, obviously I don't have that issue. Okay, so that probably means, Chance, you've got too many windows. Okay, number one. But to disable the snap feature, if you click on Tools, Options, okay, from our toolbar, click on Tools and then Options. And in the general, in Appearance, you can uncheck the Enable Snap windows and see if that helps. Okay? And then save it. You don't save your work, save it, and then when you exit Trade Ideas, don't forget to save your work. Even a little change like that will not be saved unless you save your work. So Sam, I really can't help you there. I mean, if then you've just got too many windows. I mean, nothing I can do if you've got too small a screen to have you know, over 10 windows on. I can't help you. Other than getting rid of some. Yes, Rob, that's what you do. You open the dock channel bar. So here's my layout. You see my layout right here. Okay, there's my layout. So if I click on New Dock Channel Bar, and now I start clicking on different channels, you can see underneath, my layout is still here. Okay? But you have to use the Dock Channel Bar, not the channel bar. I'm lobbying to get rid of this, you know. I think it's too confusing. But anyway, you just use the docked channel bar. So rescaling, are you talking about just changing the size of the charts, or? I mean, there's only a few things you can do. I mean, if you keep the control key pressed down on your keyboard, and then with the scroll wheel, scroll in and out. Yeah, so there's no, if you're talking about this up here, no, there's nothing you can do. I've never really had that issue, so I haven't complained to our development about it. So you see what happened, guys? I left that stop in, so I got stopped out of the AVCT. All right, I left that stop in. I didn't really go over, placing stops and all that, but it's in the simulator. So again, you start trading, you better have a price you're getting out of the stock at. Okay? Not every trade is going to work, even if the setup, even if you are able on your checklist, everything checked, doesn't mean that the trade is going to work. So you have to, the way I trade anyway, I have a stop. I get out of it at a certain price. Where I place that, that's going to come with practice for you. All sorts of different ways of placing stops. I look at a chart. If I see what I consider a big support level, and it breaks down through that support level, say on a 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, I want to be out of the trade. Some might use the low of the previous 5-minute candle, maybe a 15-minute candle. How you do it will be up to you. And that's why you have to practice. Get comfortable placing stops and then obeying them. Well, that's what I was demonstrating. So I can, I with my right, if that's what you're talking about, just scrolling like that, not zooming, I can use my right and left arrow keys, okay, but not up and down. The up and down don't work, or control key press down on your keyboard. Okay, and then you can use your arrow keys. Here I'm using my left arrow, or I could use my scroll wheel on my mouse. It's up to you. Okay? Yeah, my layout has 2 dock windows. Well, I have some other Trader IDs windows on my other monitors, okay? Here's another docked window that I've got. These are more glancing, these are the AI here, and these are more, I'm not concentrating on these all day long, but these are my earnings plays over here. So I have several docked windows. I don't go over docking windows too much because, quite frankly, I don't get any questions about it. The main reason for docking, in my opinion, or using the new version, is for the dock channel bar. If you want to start docking windows, you can do it. There is a video that I can give you, but it's certainly not mandatory to do. I like it. I like the way it's clean. I can have all my thumbnail charts all in one. I like the cleanliness of it, but it's certainly not mandatory to do. You can keep them free floating if you want, like before. Okay, so Sam, if you're interested in it, I do have a video on that. This is somebody in our YouTube room. And also, if you go to our channel guide, I know there's got to be a big information about docking windows. Go to the education. And if you go to the user guide, there we are. Dock windows is right there in the user guide. And see if it's a section on its own. There, docking. Okay, there's a whole thing on docking right here. Or you can go to the full table of contents. And if you do a search on docking, right here, you do a search on docking, it'll take you to docking. So all the information is there. Hey, Iris, I just popped it in, but as I'm going over, I just popped in that, but you can also go to our user guide. And again, the user guide. Accessible from my home page. So again, when you click on my home page link, let me get back to where you'd see. This is what you'd see, and then here it is, education, and then the TI user guide, and there's a section you can see what this is, docking right here. Okay. Again, docking is not a mandatory thing. It's a little cumbersome. It's a little confusing. You know, it took me a while to figure out how to do it. That's why I don't really go over it too much. I certainly will if somebody wants me to, but certainly not mandatory to use. Well, that you're right. Blue collar scans. That's the main reason for having, you know, upgrading, or I guess upgrading to a later TI version to take advantage of the docked channel bar. All right. We had all these channels that we created, and before though, it was a real pain to use them because I mean, if you had your own layout up and running and you wanted to take a look at one of the channels just to see what was happening. I mean, you could do it, but your layout would disappear. Now, of course, you would have saved your layout before that happened, but, you know, then when you want to exit the channel, you have to bring your layout back and all this. The dock channel bar gets rid of all that. You can surf through the channels all day long, and your layout does not disappear. That is what it's all about, okay? Well, it's a list that I create. It's called, you know, best watch list, okay? And I attach it to these two. It's something I create. You don't have access to it. It's just that is what these scans are looking at. I create do some after-hour scanning, pre-market scanning, create the watch list, attach it to these. The watch list has got a lot more symbols than you see here. I don't want them all to be activated. You know, so certain filters have to be met. And as far as repeating, well, you see, this is a different version of the repeating. If JMI, as opposed to this one, I know it may be a little confusing, but you notice here, you see AVCT. Every time it makes a new high, I'm going to see it, okay, over and over again. AVCT, you see how you see it every time. In this version here, it's just a different way of sorting. If JMIA makes a new high, just like it did at 1106, it just made a new high, but I don't want to see the symbol over and over again, like this. Okay? Okay, so Iris, when you talk, well, here it is, don't repeat. Right here, don't repeat. So all you have to do in an alert window, any alert window you have, just right click, go to properties, and there's a selection called don't repeat, or an option called don't repeat. And you just check it. This is a drop down menu, so you can pick your time frame. You don't want to repeat for a minute. So in other words, if AVCT kept making a new high every 5 seconds, but you only want to see it every minute, then you would pick that, or every 5 minutes, 15, or this is what I do. In mine, I have for the day. I only want to see it the first time. But you have all sorts of different options. Okay? And then say okay, and that'll do it. And again, save your work if that's what you want to do. Save your layout at the end. Every little change you make has to be saved. Okay, so Iris, as far as the, okay. So somebody asked me about the racing car. I'm not using it yet. I have to figure out a way how we can use it to make money. Okay, it is pretty and all that, but got to find out a way to make money. A 20-minute race. All right, so when you say how does it work with racing cars, can I explain? I mean, it's just a matter, you take any top list at all. Now, you have to have the latest version. I don't think it's available yet for you guys, okay? I think upcoming version maybe next week. So you can't use it yet. But once that version is available, then you take any top list you want. And then you'll see something down here called real-time stock race. And depending on the columns you've got in your top list, you can ask it to race, change from the open. The race is changed from the open. And then you just start it. But right now you can't use it, okay? So right now you see best is leading. So you could click on best and see what's happening with it. Okay, I don't see anything really. LFST leading here. Or not leading, but just, oh, I see. I should have made it 20 minutes. Good, it's not available for you guys yet, okay? Now I'll make it a little longer, 5 minutes. So really what it is trying to give you a more visual presentation of the top list. You know, I mean, it's great to see the top list and all that, but this gives you a little bit more of a visual presentation of what's happening. Who's changing from, you know, and you can pick on the different filters that we have here. You know, we could say, for instance, whose relative volume is changing the most in all these. Not the absolute number, but how much is it increasing? As an example. But it's not available yet, guys, so you're just kind of going to have to wait for it. It's just an interesting visual presentation of a top list. Bill, yes, you can only have one version of Brokers Plus open at a time, yes. Just one moment, please. All right, guys, sorry about that. As far as reversals go, I'm not a big reversal player, Carlos. So, but I do have a scan that I am sharing. So let me just get my top list or my homepage link for you, and you can see this. You can try this one. Okay, so if you go to my homepage. You click on my link, my homepage link. I'll get to your... Oh, I see. So you don't have trade ideas, Carlos, in your... Okay, so we don't have free demos, okay? just to let you know. You can try us out for a month. The standard subscription, it costs you about, with the discount for the first month, costs you about $80, $88 or something. But we don't have free. Okay. So there's no point in my showing you. But yeah, I mean, you can set up scans for intraday reversals, yes. But if you do click on my homepage and you're you don't mind paying, the test drive won't be until February, so it's quite a ways off. February 14th, in fact. You can sign up for the test drive, so you'll be notified exactly when it starts. Tentatively, it is February 14th. Yes, Valentine's Day. So I'll give you. So you use basically what it is it. Just fill it out with your email, and then as it gets closer, you'll get an email saying, okay, the test drive is starting, and here's how you sign up for it, okay? Okay, so if you click on my link, just a second here, where are you? Okay, I guess I just have to click on my link again. Okay, so when you click on my homepage link and then click on the link, I don't know why they didn't. There we go. I'm going to shut these down. Okay. So this is what you'll see, all right? And then here's where you can take out a subscription. There's a promo code you can use. Click on the Get Trade Ideas. You don't need our premium service to start off. Go to a monthly, and then standard, and then use my promo code, and you'll get 15% off that first month only. Okay? So I see your comment there, Xander. So yeah, one of the other thing we really try to emphasize is the support we give. So not only do you have this trading room like this, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. Another trader takes over in our YouTube room. Different style of trader from me. They're more swing traders, but they're there between 12 and 1 when I take my break. You can ask them questions also. We have Chris Varley from 3:30 to 4:30 in the YouTube room Monday to Friday. You can ask him questions about trade ideas and general market questions. So we really do pride ourselves on the support we give. All right, guys, give me a moment. I'm just adjusting something on my other monitor. If you're talking, Dova, if you're talking about a data point, we don't have the data point for that, if that's what you mean. So if you're talking about show me the data point for the high of, say, the first 15-minute candle, we don't have that. We have obviously a 15-minute opening range break, as well as other time frames, but I don't think that's what you're asking for. So we do have, opening 1 minute opening breakout or down 2 minute, etc. Well, we have 15-minute, but that's only going to show you the breakout or breakdown of the. If that's what you're talking about, then we do have it. But if you're looking for the data point, the actual data point, well, okay, okay, so the first 15-minute from 9:30, yeah, this is the opening breakout. So if a stock, if you use this alert, 15-minute opening range breakout, now let's just say, look at this one. Okay, for instance, this is a good example. Here's your 15-minute chart, okay? So there's BLRX. It hit a high of 267 and a low of 225. If you set the opening range breakout, this will not show up until if it ever took out 267 on the high side or 225 on the low side. You see right now, and that can be the problem when you get a big topping tail. So we're already at what 11:15, and it hasn't taken out the opening range on the top side nor the downside. But that's all you can do. And if you're looking for something else, there's nothing else you can do with that. Are you talking about options, Xander? Yeah, so no. The answer is no. We have some option scanners or option filters, but not that specific one. We don't scan for options as such, but for instance, in my moving higher with unusually strong options volume, but let me just show you what the option filters are. So we have some obvious ones. We have the put call ratio. Options volume, that is the average number of contracts over the last 10 days. Options volume today, that's total contracts. Put and call volume today, broken out. And then this is the key one, the option volume today %. So for instance, and remember, I'm not trading the option, but I'm looking for stocks having unusually strong option volume. So, it has to be at least 2,000 contracts, and it has to be trading at least 3 times normal. So whatever it did over the last 10 days on average, I want it to be at least 3 times that with a minimum 2,000 contracts today. So that's why I don't get very many, and yeah, I have some other filters in place here, but that's why I do not generally get too many in here. So some in the room say that can help them trade the options. I mean, I can't attest to that because I don't trade options, but I will trade the stock. So you got to look at AVCT at 238. You know, what did it get up to? Got up to 312, CXM 1620. You know, what did it get up to? 16. Didn't really move off that. Again, these are ideas, always ideas. These are not take the trade the minute you get the alert. That's why you have to have some, you know, trading experience to be able to look at the charts. But I know there's some option traders, and you know, Sean at Trade Ideas, he is a big option trader, and I know he uses these filters to zero in on stocks that are maybe have, you know, could have an interesting option day. Just a minute, please. Okay. Yeah, but I remember, yeah, I'm just trading the stock. I'm not trading the. Well, in this particular one, okay, short gone, I mean, this is looking for a 10-day daily breakdown. Okay, so when I saw figs, I actually saw figs earlier in my lifetime lows. Okay, so this at that point, I saw this one. It was actually making a lifetime low. So I'm a person who says, you know what, if a stock is making a lifetime low, unless there's some extraordinary news that's going to come in, you know, the next little while, why is anybody going to buy it? You know, especially at the beginning when it starts making, at some point, will it bounce? Sure, it could bounce, I guess. I'm not just talking figs, and I'm just talking in general. So this is looking for stocks making a 10-day daily breakdown. I click on the alert. I also saw, you know, it was an all-time low. So right off the bat, for me, that means there is no support anywhere. In other words, there's no chart support. There's none of this sitting underneath the stock that could, you know, stop it from moving down. Now, obviously, other reasons why a stock is not just going to, you know, keep going down to zero just because there's no support underneath. But that, for me, it puts the odds in my favor. When you know, a stock is at an all-time low and it's triggering here, so then I make up my mind, do I want to take the short? So that's how I find the opportunities. Now, others in this room, like Real and William and Zach and others, they're looking for, I mean, I'm not saying they don't do this also, but they're also looking for stocks that may have gone parabolic on the long side and they just run out of steam and then they short them. I would do more of that if I could concentrate a little bit more on those sort of plays. I just can't. And this window doesn't give me very many stocks, you know, but that's what I want. The short that I took in the pre-market, EVBG, I mean, that was easy to find because it had gapped down huge. So I looked at this. Remember, this came in my pre-market scanning. All right, so I saw this. The minute I see something that was, you know, I saw it. I can't remember what time I actually saw it, but you know, this was a stock that was $114. That's where it closed. And then I see this. So the first thing I do is say, wow, why did it drop? Because I saw that it was not an earnings play. So I say to myself, well, there's got to be another reason for this drop. And so you check the news. Now this was obviously earlier. You know, it was way down more than 4%. This might have been here. But the minute I see this news, CEO resignation, okay, that's big news. Okay, that's big news. This was not a planned resignation. This was not a succession plan. By the way, watch Succession. But this was not a succession plan, an orderly one. This was an abrupt resignation, devastating for the stock. Plus, if you're in the room at 9 o'clock, you know that I go over my upgrades and downgrades, not mine, but I mean what I get from briefing.com, and EVBG had 7 downgrades. So lots and lots of negativity. So that's why I took the short as an example for that one. Oh, Devin, I have no idea. I don't really, 10:45, I have no idea why. Maybe it's because, I think, it could be because we're using pre-market data. I really don't know. I'm not paying too much attention to the Bollinger Bands. I know I have them here, but it's possible that's why. My news link is from Interactive Brokers, Jazz. I mean, we have a news link here too, but so that news happened. That's why it happened after hours yesterday. You can see right there. There it is, 12/9. So that's yesterday, 4:05 p.m. So when the market closed, and so you could see the reaction right off the bat. So and now this morning, I could have, in this particular case, I could have used hours. But I typically use IBs. I find them a little more detailed and more up to date. Yes, sorry guys. If you have questions like that, most of them are off topic. So make sure this stocks only is just for specific stocks. Fast morning. Wow. Now I'm just going to check to see if it is Andy in the YouTube room. I'm pretty sure it's going to be him. All right, I don't think that INTS is going to, well, it's still early enough, I guess, that INTS, I'm sort of waiting on that IPO to see if it opens today. Very few shares, very low price, could go crazy. We won't know until it opens, if it opens today. Scheduled this week, but let me just do a quick check on my IPO calendar. Maybe it's been postponed, like that other one that was supposed to open. Okay, let's take a look. Now, by the way, guys, these are the IPOs for next week. Is that right? Yeah, for next week. Now, I would forget about anything that's opening at 10. These are just facts. I would forget about any one of these. But we got Fruit of the Vine right here. Vine, 2.2 million at 9. You never know. This is a bigger one, obviously. Look at the people behind it. IoT, 35 million. However, the price, I like the price. I like the price. Look who's behind it. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. All the big guys are behind this one. This is for next week. So what I'm going to do, we get the question many, many times. Do you have an IPO filter? No. In my opinion, this is a way better way to do it. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop the IPO calendar or the link that I use. Okay, so this is what I do. I don't even see INTS now. It might have been yanked. Let me check the calendar again. Yeah, INTS has been yanked. I don't see it here anymore. Okay, but this is what I do, guys. So over the weekend, you know, obviously there are not too many next week. You know, December is not a big time for IPOs, but some weeks you can get 10 or 15 IPOs coming at you. So this is what I do. I check to see what IPOs are coming up this week, so I can see next on Tuesday there's one, and on Wednesday there is one. All right. So Vine is one. So what I do, maybe I can just stick it over here so it doesn't disappear. Okay. So I'll put Vine in my chart. Obviously it's not trading yet. I'll create a price alert. Put it at $1. Obviously it's going to open over $1. But here's, I think, why I think instead of just having a strict IPO filter, which we don't have, I think there's a far better way to do this. Because especially a week in which you have a lot of IPOs. But what I do now is I say, okay, how many shares? So I know 2.2 million, okay, this is the range, expected range between 9 and 10. And I don't know, I sort of know Boosted, so I'll put them in. Okay, so now what happens, when it starts to trade, instead of my trying to rack my brains, oh, how many shares were issued and what was the IPO price? Because, for instance, if this opens at 15, I can look at like, wow, okay, so the IPO, it was projected to be between 9 and 10. Therefore, there's excitement, okay? So I save all that. Do the same thing now with the IOT. Right click. So is it a little bit of work? Yes, but because of what now you can put in the notes section, you know, I can now say 35 million, and I know between 20 and 23, and then I can start saying, wow, there are big guys behind it. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JPM, you know, that's all I'm really going to put. So I have a bit of an idea about what this IPO is. Okay, and I save it. So now I'm prepared. But imagine if I had 10 or 15 of them, you know, so you do it on the weekend or something, spend 5 minutes, do some work, and then you're prepared if you like to play IPOs. All right, Andy. Andy is going to be in our YouTube room at noon. So when I take my break at noon, he will be taking over for me. All right, guys, what is the overall market doing? So, nothing really. Nas is down a little. Actually, well, the market has obviously faded from the open. We had that big, I guess the inflation numbers came out. And for whatever reason, the market popped on those numbers. Maybe they weren't as bad as the market was expecting. But since then, we've kind of been a steady fade. And which is, so you go in here, and so you can see the market, the Dow was up a lot more at one point, Nas was up, So let's take a look at the sectors. Remember what they look like? Everything was up. You know, when I did this at around 9:20, every single sector was up. Now let's take a look. You see. So look at energy, guys. I mean, at one point, 100% of the energy stocks were up. Now only 18% of them are up. Up from yesterday's close. That's what this means. Technology, at one point, this was all around 80-odd%. You know, so you can see what's happened. Consumer staples, though, has actually increased. Almost 100% of them are up, as an example. So how to use this in trading? Well, if you were wanting to take an energy stock, and you could check this and you say, wow, I'm really, unless that stock has specific news for it, I'm really trying to go against the trend. And why would I do that? It might work, but why would I beat my head against a wall, going against a strong trend of energy being, being down now? There's only one stock that's up, BKR, 0.8. I mean, it's not up much, but that's what that means. You know, as opposed to, but if I said, consumer staples, if I was in a consumer staple stock, it doesn't necessarily have to be in this list. I think, well, at least I'm going with the trend. And that's the nice thing now about the new dock channel bar. You don't have to worry about your layout going. You know, you can, if you want, you can cruise to the different channels and see if there's anything interesting. You know, especially if you're getting a bit of a lull in the alerts that you're getting. All right, guys. Well, look at Bitcoin. Remember Bitcoin? Jeff will tell me what the Bitcoin price is now, but Bitcoin you can see right there, it had that surge along, it basically followed what the SPY was doing, had that surge, and now it's kind of following, and even worse, what the SPY is doing. I mean, it's just market open and it's just sunk. So remember Mara and Riot and some of the Bitcoin plays. I'm sure they're all looking like this. Really difficult intraday traders, in my opinion. $47.87. Thank you. I mean, anything is possible, but I mean, for figs to go positive, it's got to tack on $5. So, I mean, anything's possible, but I think it's highly unlikely that figs is going to go positive. Yeah, guys, come on, don't get real mad. Anything, unless it's specific to a stock, okay? A symbol, a stock symbol. Take everything else off topic. So much for the upgrade for AUPH. AUPH had an upgrade. I think it was Oppenheimer had an upgrade this morning for AUPH. Of course, this is the one that's surrounded by merger rumors right here. And that's what popped this up. but they've sort of been dispelled. All right, well, actually, Rita had a nice pop. Actually, now that one actually has gone positive. So 2 days ago, had the big thumping. Yesterday, it kind of held, but then this morning, it gapped down again. No. What happened here? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. It was well, okay, yeah. This had a big thumping here, a little pause, and then another thumping yesterday. Let me get that. All right, here's a better picture. So yeah, so 3 days ago, got thumped, kind of held 2 days ago, but they got thumped again yesterday. So BZ, guys, is a good example of using the re-entry from Trade Ideas, okay? Do indexes get halted? Very, very, very rarely. I mean, the SPY, if the SPY drops 1,000 points in a, they can get halted, but it's very rare. You have to have a real extreme days. I mean, that would mean the market is halted, right? So, very, very rare. So look at this, guys. Okay, now, has the AI had a great day? Of course not. But if you follow this BZ, there's an argument to be made that if all you did was watch the re-entries, didn't do anything else, didn't take trades, when they happened, but wait for re-entries, you won't get very many over the course of a day. Some days you may not get any. But for instance, look at the BZ. Okay, so the idea was to short it at 41.14. Got stopped out, 42.47, right at the stop. Okay. There was an opportunity to reshort it at 41.85. How do we get this 41.85 number? Nothing scientific, really. You take the entry price, 41.14. You take the stop price, and halfway between that is 41.85. So remember, it got stopped out at 42.57 and it started moving down. When it got down to that 41.85, it gave you a trigger again to say, okay, maybe we were a little early on this short. Here's another opportunity to get into the short. Some people just wait for these. They don't fool around with the initial ones. And they just wait for these. So there's a great opportunity to do it that way. Big Five. That was a pretty wild one a few weeks ago. Big Five. And it just fell. So what do you want me to check on it? Oh, I have no idea. You're asking me a question I have no answer for, Arpel. Will it? Will it? I have no idea. I look right up here. If I were looking at this, are you talking about reversing to move higher? I look at this and I think, well, there's probably a lot of potential resistance not that far away, number one. But to me, it's just too choppy to make a determination about any direction. In the 5-minute chart, yeah, it's moving higher, but to me, looks like there's a pretty good resistance around 2040. So there's no definitive answer. Will it? I have no idea. If it could take out 2040, maybe. But then you're only looking at 60 cents, so. And again, has it bottomed? I don't know. It seems to, I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, what's the low here? 1992, 2057, 2060, so 2031. So, it looks like 20 may hold it. There's some support on that weekly around 20. But I wouldn't be taking this to think, okay, it's definitely holding. It sounds like you want to swing this one. But if it ever took out 20, look out below, because now, you're looking at this weekly low of around 1770. See, to me, you're premature. In my opinion, you're premature to think that this 20 is going to hold. It might. But look, if you took this as a swing and put a 24-cent stop on a swing, you may get stopped out almost immediately. Usually swing trades are wider stops because you've got to give it time. But that's up to you. If you want to put a very tight stop on it, because you're right, 20 looks like it could be holding it. As long as you get out, if it gets down below 20, and don't get stubborn. But that is not advice to take this trade right now at 2034 with a 34-cent stop. I've just sort of laid it out for you. If it makes sense for you to think about something like that, then fine. But that's not a recommendation to do that. All right, 11:51, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop the YouTube again. If you want to